Fine, I'm good. I liked you in my mind, you know it's one accord. Less words, more feel, more attention. Tie it down with this unspoken connection. Girl, are you ready? 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 Are you ready to love? Are you ready to love? Girl, are you ready? 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 Are you ready to love? Are you ready to love? Oh, play that naughty thing, reggae roots for me.
Now I tell the sun.
Yeah, we gon' turn on these eternal lights.
Now I tell the sun.
For you know what I want, I got what you need. Comfy to me, girl, whisper something sweet. Play that naughty thing, reggae roots for me. Now watch you listen. Oh yeah, yeah. Baby, do that to me one more time. Live up this scene real nice. Come to your legs down low. Don't leave me waiting no more. Are you ready? 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 Are you ready to love? Are you ready to love? Girl, are you ready? 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 Are you ready to love? Are you ready to love? Yeah. Play that naughty teen reggae roots.
Hey guys, welcome to Everyday People. Boom, I guess I would need that on.
Yep.
All right, let's try that one more time. I was all ready for the whole half hour I was here, but I had my microphone turned off. But let's try this once again. All right, everybody, welcome to Everyday People, the PacifikaChptr. I'm your co-host, Lynn Gato, with my beautiful co-host.
Crystal Dafalele.
And we have the beautiful Hola Tuatonga here with us.
Hi.
But before we get to her, because we have a lot to talk about, as you can see, we have status. So look it up real quick, okay? But anyways, we're just going to go over a couple of events real quick before we get into it with Hola. We have the One Love Spring Kava Festival that's going to happen Friday, March 28th from 6 p.m. So it's on 7136 South Redwood Road, so make sure you hit that up. The Buddha's going to be there. Cindy in the background. We might do a little, make an appearance.
Yep,
right?
That's all today. Yes, for sure.
Oh, crap. Today's the 28th.
Yes. Today at 6 p.m.
Okay, I don't know if it's my Red Bull, my coffee, or
might be the
my
status, actually.
Okay.
Also, we're going to give a big shout out to the grand opening of Her Space in Tacoma, Washington, which is happening on Thursday, April 10th. So that's huge, and that's awesome.
Talia is killing it out there. All the women out there, all the entrepreneurs out there, you guys are doing your thing, and we are following. So don't think that you are going unnoticed, because we
definitely
are here for it.
Yes. Also, you can get your $75 med card at Wholesome Co. in Bountiful. You will see Big Buddha there, so you guys come out there. If you guys need to get your med card, you can meet with someone and get that today for only $75. So.
That's right. And I think that's a renewal or a brand new one.
Renewal
right?
or the brand new one. Yeah. And then also $75 to shop. So it's great to get all of that together and then save some money.
All right, and who doesn't need that? I mean, it works.
Exactly.
But make sure that you guys are following us on all of our social media platforms, on our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube especially, because that is where all of our past videos will be, and the one that we're airing at the moment live.
Yes, because they're going to take live videos away from Facebook.
I think that was like in 30 days, and I think we're down like to the 10-day mark, if not even sooner than that.
Wow.
I'm not
so
sure.
Follow
Did you hear
us
that?
so you can
no,
still
I
see
didn't.
those.
So it seems like that on Facebook, or I think on any of the social media platforms, after 30 days, all live videos will be taken off.
Oh my gosh.
So you're going to need somewhere to store all your beautiful videos, Hola, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but make sure that you're following all of that information on like all of our social media platforms, but follow the planter.
Yes, please. The planter pop up. We are popping up. It's spring weather,
They
so
be popping
we're
up.
going to blow up your feed now.
And make sure that you go online and buy her merch.
Oh, yeah. And also, sorry, the Plant and Sip is coming up on April 19th. You can buy tickets. There are limited seating, but it is back at Kaipo. It was so fun on the first one. So get your girls' night out or a date night or whatever and come and plant.
And what a fun night that
I know.
was.
I'm so glad you guys came and enjoyed.
I have never planted
And look
plants.
at Buddha's beautiful plant here. And Cindy's beautiful money tree
Her
back
money
here.
tray, okay, making
We're all
it
gonna
rain.
be plant people.
Right.
And Lynn's beautiful spider plant that you planted.
Well, you know,
I love
I have
that.
spider plants all around my house, so I'm like, why not kill another one?
Yes, exactly.
Or I'm learning how to keep it alive. Do you own
have
any
plants?
For that exact reason, the answer is no.
Why are you yelling? Why are you screaming? See,
And that's okay, you know?
when you talk to the plants, you're supposed to talk to them gently, is from what I heard.
Yes,
right?
yes. They feel your energy.
You need to be a plant whisperer.
Yes, the plant whisperer, okay? Not the hurry up and drink.
Take a shot.
Why do you look
Take a
like
shot.
that?
No, but the plant and sip was so amazing. It was sold out. We learned a lot. The energy that was amazing. The food.
Yeah.
Because they just had their grand opening,
Yeah.
right? Their kitchen. And I think Cindy had like the chicken gale. And it was so good.
Oh,
I'm glad you guys
It was
enjoyed
congratulations
I'm
to
glad
them. We know them. They're so amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing people.
Love it over there too. So.
Oh, it was so dope. I mean, just I'm not a big kava person, but like the kava shots that they have.
Oh
like
yeah, the flavored
bowls of
shots.
kava.
That got me. That actually got me because we will drink kava, but for the buzz, not the flavor. Oh my gosh! Now I see why everyone drinks and has a bunch
Like
of
the flavor,
candy
yeah.
and soda.
Not
But the
my
flavored
thing.
shots, okay, I can do that. That helped.
No, but make sure that you guys hit up the next one because that
Yeah.
was April 19th.
April
And
19th.
Kaipo is amazing. They're doing great things for the community,
Yeah.
all walks
We're
of
excited
life.
for
I
them.
mean, Thursday nights,
Ladies and
ladies'
ladies night. That's actually my favorite night to go.
okay, that's what I heard on Thursday
Yeah.
night. But they're open every
Yeah.
single day, so make sure that you guys follow them on their Facebook page as well, Kaipo Salt Lake City. Make sure that you're following us at Manny's Neighborhood
Yes.
Neighborhood Bar, where you can catch me running karaoke every weekend. Tonight I'll be doing it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so come hit us up. And make sure, again, you're following all of the Everyday People social media platforms.
Yeah. And while we're speaking of sip,
Okay,
let's talk about our guest here,
Yes,
the ultimate
hola.
sip experience. I'm so
go
excited.
and introduce yourself and kind of give us a background who your family is, because when we were talking earlier, I'm sure everybody
Yeah, we
is
need to
or
know all
wants
your
to be
family
related.
connection because we made a connection here. Let's make a connection to everybody out there too.
No, thank you guys so much for having me here. I can't say enough about this podcast, and I've been following you guys. Cindy and Buddha came last year to visit us in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and told us all about what you guys do here, and I've been following and have been such a huge fan ever since. So it's such an
awesome.
honor to be here today. But yeah, I'm Hola Motuapuaka Tuatonga. I'm married to the most amazing guy, Bill Tuatonga. We have
Who's here with us? So thanks for being here, Bill.
Oh, hey, Bill. What up, Bill?
We have 4 kids, amazing children, 3 boys, 1 daughter. And I am basically, my father is a mataele and a motuapuaka. So my grandma is a mataele, Hola Mataele, and then my grandfather is motuapuaka. And then on my mom is a sikahema and a fulivai. So basically,
Huge family.
Huge family.
Yep. All of the families you've named,
All of the
basically.
families,
Yes.
right? So she really is related to everybody. Okay, and
This
maybe
is
you're
your
all
cousin.
related to her. We get it. Okay.
So, but with that being said, it's just been so great getting to see how much our community has evolved and grown. I mean, look at us here today in this amazing podcast that's just infectious with energy and positive vibes. It's so
try, definitely.
yeah, it's so wonderful to see. It's also great just to see the different industries that our people are participating in. Like, shout out to Kaipo. Congratulations on your grand
Yeah,
opening.
shout
We've known them for many, many years. And just to see all the different, how our people have elevated in different ways.
Right.
I think it's just been amazing.
And I think what we were talking about before we started the show, like the guests that we do bring on here, because we've already been shining. The Pacific Islander people have been shining for
Exactly.
many, many years and decades and so on and so forth. But now that the spotlight is on us worldwide, now is the time to kind of like just jump onto that train with that build that momentum and keep it going. And we have all different walks of life, different types of business owners that do come on here, like the planter business. You're in the wine industry, construction people that we've had on bars. Like we're doing so many great things, and this is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So we can highlight just the people who have been forgotten, like the
Giving
yate
these people the flowers,
right?
again, like when they're alive and doing these things so people can recognize them now.
Right,
Yeah,
I
that's so
agree.
True.
So how did you get started into, or kind of let everybody know what your business is?
Yes.
So my husband and I, we own Status Sparkling Wines.
Boom.
We also own a separate beverage company that produces different beverages, still in the alcohol realm. And then we also own venues. So we are we have a champagne lounge that we've actually expanded and relocated, and we're working on opening multiple locations on the actual Las Vegas Strip.
Wow.
So that's just kind of like what we do. But we've been in the beverage industry. I say beverage industry, but it's mainly in the alcohol realm since 2012. So how we got into it, it's a long story for another time. But basically, we used to spend a lot of money eating out. And a lot of part of the bill was always.
We get it.
She's talking to you. She's talking to everybody.
A big part of the bill was always on the drinks. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it got to a point where we had our wedding anniversary. It's our 6-year wedding anniversary. And it got to a point where, it's 20 now.
Oh, yeah.
20 now.
So
20-year anniversary. But then it was 6-year anniversary. And I came up with we spend so much money. What does it cost? And what could be a return on investment on something like this? And it basically spiraled into us basically doing research and development, producing an actual formula, getting it registered with the federal government, and then actually bottling a pre-made, ready-to-drink lemon martini.
Wow.
And it was called My Liqueur Martinis back then. And My Liqueur is actually the name of two of my friends that I just put both their names together, My and Liqueur. And that became a thing. And as we started to grow, logistically, I just did not have the experience on the production side.
Right.
So the supply chain side.
Yeah.
And making sure all of your ingredients are streamlined so you never run out. And it became really difficult for me to manage because we were like a really small company. Mm-hmm. And then we pivoted in 2017. We actually have friends that own a winery. Well, they're family. They're actually family. Okay. But they own... our friends own a wine production, but our family have actually a vineyard. And so they have...
So you're kind of like just grabbing all the puzzle pieces.
The puzzle pieces together. And our family had the vineyard with the fruit, and then our friends do the production. And so we just kind of it took us years to kind of get it right. But we were able to develop a product that had less, what should I say? Less lines of ingredients that I had to go source.
Because you have to go to so many different people for different types of products, like you were saying, like the lemon juice
and then I went to Ian for vodka, and then I went over here for vanilla, and you know what I mean, just to make the perfect recipe. And so when you're trying to make so many ingredients and recipe, it becomes very expensive. Oh yeah. And then it becomes really hard to manage if you don't have the experience. Now today we have a lot more experience than we did back then.
It's like moving forward 10 years.
20 years later, I don't know. But now, 14 years later, we've now got it down, So our supply chain is now industrialized. Instead of being able to make, 100 bottles in 2 weeks, we can make 53,000 bottles in 1 hour.
Oh, wow. Just 53,000? Just 53,000?
Oh, wow. In an hour now. Okay.
It's definitely, we've just managed the production so that we can be able to scale. Yeah. And it's taken us a long time. So here's how we actually started. When we got into doing the beverage, you go and ask, okay, so you will need bottles. Who's their packaging coming from? And it's like, okay, well, how much does that cost? Right. Oh, well, each bottle costs, let's say 60 cents. Oh, that's nothing. Right. But there's a minimum quantity you have to order. You have to order 10,000 at one time. So it's like, So my husband would go and pour concrete. Yeah. And he would go pour driveways and swimming pools and then come back and be like, here's the money for the bottles. Go get the bottles. Let's do this.
I love it.
I go and I'm like, we got our bottles. And they're like, okay, well, where's the caps? And I was like, don't the bottles come with the caps?
They're like, no. That's a separate cost. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I did not.
Oh, yeah.
So then I was like, well, how much are the caps? And they're like 25 cents, but you got to buy 20,000 of them. And
but I only bought 10,000 bottles.
Exactly. So I would go back to my husband. I'd be like,
You're like, honey, you forgot the cap. Well, what's your...
And you only got enough in the
You know what I mean? So hence the reason why we could only afford 100 bottles every 2 weeks because that's when I got paid.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
get paid my paycheck by a little bit, and we produce this much. And by the time those bottles cost a fortune to make each, because we had to, it took a long time, and today, of course, it's a lot different. But that's how we started. And my husband was just like, "Is there anything else?" I was like, "Labels."
You sure you got
You're
the
like,
bottle?
well, we have the cap, but
label,
what about the wiring that goes on?
The wiring, the cork, the
There is
labels,
a lot to
Right.
think about.
the foil. And so my husband was like, "Oh, you need to go find a new business." or pick up 2 more jobs, And so, but yeah, it's just, that grit and that startup
Right.
story. But it literally was, the rent wasn't getting paid or the phone bill wasn't getting paid, but we had bottles.
Right.
And we
Were you
had
doing this all out
labels.
of your home at the beginning, or did you have
Well, so we started putting the formulas together at home in our kitchen, but we never knew that to sell on a shelf in America, you needed to have a barcode.
Yes.
In order to get that barcode, you needed to have your formula evaluated by a lab. And that costs a fortune. Well, because they didn't want nobody dying.
Right.
You
They're
might.
like, okay, we're going to test this
I
out.
mean,
We know you mix this up, but we're going to
drink
test
at
it
your
out.
own.
Yeah. And then what's the shelf life?
Right.
What is the expiration?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know.
So these are all new things that are coming up. You're like, holy crap, I did not even think about that.
Kind of like what you guys gave the example about your general learning as you guys
Yeah.
go.
Right.
We were learning as we went too, and they were like, "What's the shelf life?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And where's your lab work? What lab work? Well, yeah, you need a food and beverage, a professional lab that is licensed to break down the chemistry of your
Right.
product to make sure. Is it really what it says is in there? So those things are all like learning curves.
I mean,
but-
do
yeah.
they count it down to like calorie or just
100%.
everything? Okay.
Wow.
100%. And what you say is in the bottle needs to, if it were tested, needs to be in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get in trouble.
Oh,
Right,
sure.
right. If you're like, oh, this is all good stuff, and they test it, and they're
Girl,
like,
but
ah.
it tastes so good,
Wow, that's so good to
Yeah.
think about also. And the way you point that out, like there are some things when you're starting a business that you don't think about until you're doing it, and then you're in it and you're doing all of that. So, but that's great to also your story of the hustle that you had to do to get every individual bottle, even just to get to this
And to remain
point.
motivated.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, we've given up so many times. We threw in the hat and decided to close our doors right after COVID.
Oh, yeah, that was probably
that-
a really
that was
rough
hard for a
time.
lot.
Yeah.
So.
So, again, being a small company, we couldn't afford to really sell in stores just because it was so competitive. And when you think about people who shop, when you go to the store, you're using your left and right brain, making conscious decisions. This is the butter I've always used.
Yep.
That's the same butter I'm going to buy. It's the same ketchup I always use.
Right.
We know about the mayo.
Yep.
The same brand. No matter if you see
Best foods.
best foods.
We're all best foods. Let's
Do
just
never-
clear that up real quick.
I mean, if you're a Miracle Whip, I don't know.
Okay, well, let's kind of
One
pump the
is
brakes
that?
on that real quick, because I am a Miracle Whip person. I love Miracle Whip, but I do like mayo. Let's
Yeah.
He's the
note
only
that.
person I've ever heard in my whole entire life actually say that.
I can't do
But
it.
we love you.
You're welcome.
I can't do
You're
it. I
welcome.
can't do
Me
it.
neither.
But it made it really hard. So you see all of the name brands that have been around forever.
Right.
And then what's going to make someone want to try Status? And I love our people because they go out and support.
Right.
But that demographic is so small. If you're really trying to make a living, you need to appeal to all markets of life.
Definitely.
And so what we did was we just tried to think of how can we engage? Because if your bottle's sitting on a shelf, it's collecting dust, you're not making money.
Right.
You need the bottle popped and the liquid poured and
Well, while you
liquid
have it,
on.
while you have it in your hand,
I don't have any more liquid.
Sorry.
So, just so we can understand what you mean. Yeah.
me and Crystal trying to be all modest
We're
and
all,
stuff. Like, who's gonna grab the bottle first? Who's gonna grab the bottle first? Like,
It's your guys' bottle. You guys take it. It's yours. But
I just parched, that's why.
as long as the liquid is in the bottle, you're not making money. So what we did was we basically, by the grace of God, through networking, were able to get into a sports arena. So the sports arenas, if you think about decision making in a sports arena. So let's say we go tomorrow to a jazz game and I'm like, what are you guys drinking? And you guys are like, you know what? I'll take a Pepsi. And I'm like, they don't have Pepsi. you're not going to be like, well, I don't drink anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
You
I
are
don't Coke.
you you know what I mean? You're listening to like the dopamine, the endorphins of like the games going on. You're listening to the countdown, the crowd. You're like, give me whatever, I don't care. Give me whatever. So you're not really brand loyal inside of venues.
Right.
That's true.
So that was our break where we became the house sparkling wine
I love
at
that.
an event.
Crazy.
And so people would come, and the people who love to drink champagne or bubbly, it's like they don't have Mums or, Moet Chandon, but they have a house sparkling wine. Sure, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So that was the kind of environment we needed to be in.
Yeah. Right.
So that it's like
That way they have a
the
chance
concession
to taste
stand.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So concession stand, the bottle never made it over the counter because glass is
Right.
not allowed.
Yeah.
But the glass was being filled, and if your product was good, they will come back.
Yes.
Oh,
you know?
definitely.
Yep.
So
And it's light, refreshing, and champagne you hold in a bottle or flute and you kind of just savor it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something that people can like socialize with, not your beer where you're chugging it.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I do that.
You want to
but-
be kind of able to still socialize. So that's kind of like where we got our break. And one arena led to the other. So Madison Square Garden led to the Prudential Center in New Jersey, which
Wow.
led to
awesome.
where the Dallas Mavericks play, which led to where the LA Galaxy play. So we were able to position ourselves and move volumes just by being a house sparkling wine, which I was not upset about or crying about at all.
No.
Because they order, if you do the math, 30,000 people. If you even have 1% drinking your product, now
it's good.
I mean,
you're too sweet.
It's
so
good.
The stadiums, they're open 300 days of the year. So you think about it,
Oh yeah.
1% drinking your product, 1% every day, 300 days of the year, you get movement. So when COVID hit, it just devastated us. And
Oh,
we
I'm
just,
sure.
it flatlined us because we weren't in the stores,
Right.
So no way to get our product, and it was devastating. But
So when COVID came and you took that break, how long was that break that you guys had to kind of like debrief and kind of figure out what the next steps were going to be?
we tried several times to relaunch, but because we were jaded, we were so afraid that if we only focused on stadiums and we had a second shutdown for whatever reason,
Right.
Because it was unknown.
yeah,
Right.
Scary.
Totally, we would be in the same predicament.
Right.
So then having to start over and go back to grassroots of going into stores again was pretty difficult, just because we had moved to Las Vegas now. So now California to Las Vegas, we don't know as many people as we did in California. We were going back and forth. For various reasons, we just weren't able to get feet underneath us
Right.
again until the opportunity came to open up an actual venue where you could showcase your product.
Yeah.
And so
And where's that at? Is that at the Venetian? Yes, I
That's
saw
at the
that.
Venetian.
Okay. She said it, the
I
Venetian.
know.
Okay, with a capital V.
Now we opened in April of 2024. Just a status
Love it. So
champagne
you're
lounge.
1 year coming up.
Well, here's what happened. We actually now decided we're moving to a more livelier location within the hotel.
Oh, good.
We've also partnered with some other amazing people to secure different concepts and also multiple locations, not just one. So we're pretty
Wow.
excited about
That's
that. So we'll
amazing.
be
We're excited for
reopening.
that.
I know. Come
I mean,
to
let's go
Utah.
down to Vegas. Yes, we'll get to that.
The
How to
Utah
get there.
Jazz.
Yeah, but honestly, let's talk about Salt Lake City.
Let's talk
Yes.
about
With
Salt
the
Lake City.
food and
We're
beverage
always talking
industry.
about our city.
The food and beverage industry here is impressive. I am
It
like,
is.
I was shook. Okay, we've spent a lot of time here the past few months in Salt Lake City, and just like mouth on the ground on just how pristine and all of the food and beverage, the restaurants, just the mom and pop local businesses.
Oh, it's definitely. It's been. I was telling you people like during the break. I was gone for 15 years. Came back 2019, and what a difference Salt Lake has become. Salt Lake City proper in the town.
100%. We're just so impressed. So just to let you guys know, we did apply for a license here in 2023.
Yeah.
We got a letter from the governing board for alcohol beverage control in May of 2024. A year later, our application is being considered. It's still going through the process. So
Utah.
Well, I think with Utah, it's just really, really
It's
hard
just
as
a
we were
different-
discussing.
exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
different
Mhm.
energy.
They run their own.
Right,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
do.
they
And then
run
we
their
have the
own.
church here, so it kind of puts up a little roadblocks. whether people want to believe that or not. Like I was telling
obstacle
you,
course.
it is.
You're doing over here.
And I used to own a bar and a restaurant, you know, until just recently, so I understand the struggle to try to get that liquor license. But I have some connections, girl. I can try to hook you up with.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Because we need status here in Salt Lake City. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break because I think we only have about 30 minutes left because we want to get down to the nitty gritty to get to know Hola even more. But everybody, make sure that you guys are following. Where can everybody follow your?
Instagram is Drink Status, and then our page is Status Sparkling Wines.
So make sure that you guys are following the page. Go check it out right now while we're going to take this quick break. And if you guys have any questions that you guys would to ask Hola or any of us, go ahead and put it down in the comments and we will answer them when we get back. But make sure that today you guys are going to go hit up the $75 medical card today down in Bountiful at 580 West First North from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. and $75 to shop as well. So we will see you guys back in a minute.
And let me put it in cruise, get that view next to you. Only you and I, baby. Oh, baby, this a vibe. Oh, look at you, look at me, look you where you wanna be. Hit your frequency right, manifest when we vibe. Oh, baby, this a vibe. Oh, baby. I count on my blessings, thank God for another day. Never give up today, cause tomorrow I might just win. Let me get a hold of your waist, you're my beautiful recognition lover. You take the pain away, get that energy the same,
Take a trip to the islands, catch a vibe when they say, Len walk a Celelia, Moketin, Kraranum to a Pacifica. The river ocean, get it ready, baby. My go boom boom. Why did they get it better? Now it's a vibe. Hey, dog, y'all get it on me live. Yeah, but that, you're my Micronesian lover. Let's melody mood with some cover. Meditate with some sensor. Keep the taker. Go back to that, put them the OTA.
Pouring a shot of vodka in it.
Oh, you could do that too.
I put in all my seltzers.
It becomes
Welcome
a
to
everyday
spritzer.
people, the Pacifica chapter. Sorry, we're getting really excited, and the beverage is also very delicious.
Very, very, very excited. But anyway, so we are back and cheers.
Cheers. Wait, can you tell us again the flavor of this delicious sparkling wine? Because wow.
So what we've done is we've infused it. It's a peach mango essence is what they call it. But it's a French Colombard grape. And our winemakers, they've been making wine for their histories. Over 100 years of winemaking experience has made our product. And what we've done is we've taken out the tannins. So what tannins are is when you ferment the grapes, it's like hopi. In Tonga we call it hopi. You let it like rot pretty much. Inside of the skin of the grapes, there's tannins, and those tannins bring like a very dry flavor to the wine. But the problem is it creates a very heaviness, and it creates a lot of hangovers, or some people get really red and flushed around their necks and break out. So we've removed all of the tannins, and we've removed...
I feel like you were talking to me at the moment. Like, I really do get that.
Yeah.
I do get the swing, and I never realized what that was. I'm like, am I allergic?
I thought it was just when people drink alcohol, they just
well,
get
if you think
flushed
about
or
it,
something.
the prestigiousness of champagne comes because of the aging process, right?
Okay.
Right.
So once it ages, it creates a lot of yeast, and yeast is got that like brioche, like that bread taste, and that's where a lot of tradition. This is the tradition, and that's their culture. That's where they come in, and that's what makes their flavor profile unique and special. Fast forward today, people's palates have changed. People's palates are looking for a little bit more crisp, maybe more flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
Hence the Polynesian.
That's crisp, and that's
I grew up in
super
Hawaii.
flavorful.
We love our, passion orange guava.
We want that savory, that punch.
We just love
taste it all.
So just to kind of curve it a little bit towards us, and we've We don't try to replicate the way they do things traditionally because, again, that's their sacred way of doing things. So we try to do things kind of like the Polynesians. We add a little bit more flavor. We've removed all the tannins. We do remove the yeast as well. It's a lot more cleaner.
Yeah. It tastes very airy and crisp and light.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what you want
and
it.
fun.
Yeah.
But I think what I like about Status, especially this peach mango, what is the first one I've tried,
delish.
is that a lot of the other champagnes or flavored liquor or infused, you only get a hint of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, oh, well, what is it? Well, I can taste it, but you can clearly taste the peach mango and smell.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be amazing, and it should sell everywhere, especially here in Utah, and we're going to make sure that happens.
I know. It's coming to Utah. It's going to be manifested. It'll be here.
Yay!
So how many other flavors do you have, or like what does your line look like as far as the sparkling wines go?
So right now we have the peach mango. Brut is like our traditional, for those who do not like any flavors, they're very traditional to the flavor profile of what they're used to.
Basic. Just kidding. I'm kidding to all my basic friends.
So Status Brut is kind of like the Prosecco. It's still a lot fruit forward, but it's got that little medium dry to it.
Right.
And then we do have a huge lineup that we only release seasonally. So we do have Status Royal, which is our Status Strawberry. But we call it Royal. Peach Mango is actually called VIP. So the whole theme is, what's your status? So like, if you prefer the peach mango, you don't have to really say peach mango. You could say my status is VIP. If you prefer our strawberry status, you could say my status is royal.
I love that. It
Yeah,
kind
I
of
love
lets
that.
everybody
I
kind of
love that.
feel a little bougie. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
they go out, they get a
Love that.
nice bottle
Like,
of wine or
yeah.
champagne, and it makes you feel good.
Correct. We do have a flavor that is very similar to a lychee flavor profile, but it's called Status.
Ooh, I love a lychee too.
But it's called Status Gold. So what's your status? I'm gold today. So
Oh my gosh,
it's
I love all of these flavors.
So that's kind of like the
Yeah.
theme. But truly, status is whatever you want it to be. It's meant to be where you don't need to be on a red carpet or, dressed to impress somewhere, or driving a specific, you could be driving a construction iate truck.
Exactly.
You could be, your status is whatever you want it to be.
Exactly.
You dictate that and you stand confident. It's a confidence within.
Yes.
Chill.
Yes.
And that's what it's supposed to represent. I could be a stay-at-home mom, with my hair in a bun on my laptop, and I get my little straw out and my little.
Okay,
and I got
little
status.
fry, you're like,
Good time
I'm
for
at
a stay-at-home
home with my
mother.
kids.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's
They're
in
asleep.
bed and
They're in bed. It's adult
Yep.
time. It's mama time. So your status is what you make it.
Yes.
And you don't need to have a lot of money. You don't need to have, anything to have status. It's with it. It's something
feeling.
it's in you.
It's a feeling,
It's
and you're
inside of
giving
you.
somebody that.
100%.
Yeah, I love it too.
And so that's what that term means. It's like you're elevating your status however way you see fit. And everyone will adjust around you.
I'm glad you're in that space, and we talked about this a little bit before, about you coming into this space and how people felt. You being Polynesian, how was that you stepping into this space and such a big place like Vegas to be doing champagne? How did you feel coming into there as a Polynesian person, no background in this big old champagne game, but...
Especially because you were in California, you said 35 years before you made the move to Vegas. Were you there for 7, right?
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, just getting into the alcohol industry in itself was a little touchy. Born and raised in the LDS church.
Oh, for sure.
Our family, are just on my mom and my dad's side, very strong in the church. My husband is very, strong in the church, and we have the utmost highest respect,
Definitely.
And then put LDS aside. Now you're Polynesian LDS.
Right.
And that is a whole different
double
level.
whammy right
That
there.
is like, you know what I mean? It's like,
We all wear
are you
that
drinking
scarlet
Pepsi?
letter.
Yeah. Are you drinking coffee?
What is that? Is that caffeine?
So that was touchy. And there was a lot of feathers that were ruffled. I was told by a lot of aunts who love me, you're using your talents for evil, but it's just one of those things where, it took some years before my father was able to be proud, you know, of what I was doing, just because he's very respectful of the hierarchy and the protocols within the family,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Especially with a big family like yours and the name that you guys like, I'm sure that there was a lot of pressure and kind of people that were focused on you.
It was pressure. It was pressure. It was nerve-wracking. And I kind of just started to like distance myself.
Right.
And stay away, just so that I wouldn't be spiritually distracted or mentally distracted.
I love that, spiritually distracted, because I think that is something that I think we all struggle with,
Yeah.
especially growing up as a Polynesian Mormon.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad you hit on that. So
Yeah.
anyways.
What I meant was my spirituality is 1,000,000,000% sound. Like, I do not question my relationship with Heavenly Father. I know Jesus Christ is, you know, the Savior. I know all of that. My spirituality and my faith is not moved
And will not be phased by
at all.
anybody.
However, I'll let my own judgment be my own judgment on my
Exactly.
day when my day
Praise
comes.
be and cheers to
Period.
that.
Yeah.
But
You don't have to choose that.
You don't have to cheers, but
I'm speaking just for Hola. You know, this is not me promoting anything to anyone else in their faith. It's just how I believe. And with that being said, you know, coming in and facing the traditional people, like if you look at the alcohol business in particular, beverage is very diverse. You've got Asian, Polynesian, you've got, you know, all different walks of life participating. But in alcohol specifically, it's minorities are just the minority. It's very rare. I love Uncle Ernest. It's owned by a Black woman. She's killing it in the whiskey industry. She's just amazing. And then I do know that recently, Keleni Tukia, he is actually a Polynesian out of the Bay Area that is creating red wine. You see what I mean? Just recently, his is like a small batch, but he's doing the full whole harvest with the grapes and a particular red grape and making a red wine. So it's very rare to see. But in 2012, I don't know if I knew any other Polynesians.
Right.
If they were, I just didn't know them yet. But it was not like I'm not saying positive. It was more of a like the squint the eye thing, like like what do they know, you know? Because typically it's inherited. So my grandpa made wine, my great grandpa made wine. You get what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So that's why I'm in the wine industry, because my father made the wine and so on. And so we didn't have that lineage.
You were just new. You were
We were
like
just
here
like-
to do it.
So it's like, oh, hobby,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
or like, oh,
I know,
you
but
know,
like, oh, hobby, but like that is such.
That's
I'm gonna take on the wine industry.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I
you would never
love
ever
that.
really think about that as a Polynesian person.
No, I was just honestly just trying to start a business that I thought, and here's the pure decision. Well, economically,
right.
in good times or in bad times, it thrives. So that was the only, I did not think politics.
Right.
And I actually try not to think politics ever, because again, it hinders your decision
Which is
making.
smart.
Right.
Yeah, it hinders your decision making. So I just try to actually make decisions that are not politically driven, but like business driven, or like what streams of revenue come in.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you know, as a member of the church, it wasn't like the greatest business decision
Right.
to be representation of the church. So with that being said, I'm basically, I made the decision based off of something that I felt could still remain a legacy. Should my kids decide they want this industry to be in part of them, I wanted to do it the right way, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yes,
No, it does.
absolutely.
So you're doing
makes
it for
sense.
yourself. You came up with this vision. You executed it. You know what I mean? So you didn't let nobody in the church or family like kind of
Sway you from your vision.
Right.
Yeah.
But let this please be, it means that it's out of my humble respect for the church.
Absolutely.
And the way that they've run things, and my love for the church. You see what I'm saying? That I've
And I love that how you're telling everybody that did not steer you differently
Yeah.
or steer you away. Your beliefs are still there. You're just running a business that is.
Yeah.
It's a business.
It's
It's
literally a business.
for you and your family, and you never kind of like lost focus of that.
No.
Yeah.
And now here you are with whatever status you feel like being.
And I want you guys to know
VIP
the church
status,
are
that's
like some of the
definitely
most
my-
prominent business people
For sure.
Exactly.
on the planet Earth.
sure.
The leaders of our church. I mean, the church, you know, as a nonprofit and as a
I mean, I'm sure the
establishment.
church is making money off all the alcohol sales here in Salt Lake.
they're smart
No, I'm just
business
saying,
people. Smart
you know what
business.
I mean? So
They're smart business people.
but am I wrong though?
They're smart
Am I
business
wrong
people.
though? You know what I mean?
never said
They're
nothing.
still a business. You know what I mean?
Smart.
People still do it for the
It
money.
is.
They
It
do it
is a
for their
business,
livelihood.
exactly.
And I like completely admire that. So
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
There's not, so how many kids do you have? You have 4, and what are their age ranges?
Oh my gosh, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 14-year-old.
Oh wow, this is all in order.
And
So
then
the
we have a
teenagers.
9-year-old. We have a 9-year-old. So Saya, Blake, Toa'ila, and Duai Kaipao. William Duai Kaipao. Yeah.
I love that. And how do they feel about yours business? How do they feel about being
You know,
in
I
this?
don't
And
really know. I've never really had a,
that's just mom and dad's work.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even know if they, how they feel about it. They do
Oh, they're
know.
teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, they're just out there doing their thing.
They're just
Yeah.
doing their thing.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
that they're proud. I'm all.
Absolutely.
Only thing I want them to know is that they saw mom and dad just do their very best.
Yes.
And whatever it is.
Right.
I don't want them to feel that they have to do wine or sports, or I just want them to know that whatever it is they want to do, that they can do it very well.
Yes.
Without having to worry about what anyone else thinks.
I love
Because as
that.
much as I love our culture, we were raised in such a beautiful way, which makes us unique and makes us so special, right?
Yeah.
But at the very same time, sometimes, like for example, we're known for like the Friendly Islands,
Yes.
right? And it's because we have such a huge heart,
Right.
and humility is like our. We drape ourselves in humility because that projects honor.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
projects royalty, like not.
And I think a lot of the songs try to live up to that because
Yeah.
we are known for the Friendly Islands, and so we're like, okay, try to be.
Humble and
Humble
loving,
and-
and
Yeah.
here's my shirt off
Passionate.
my back.
Yeah.
You need it? Oh, all right. Yeah, exactly.
What happened is over time, those same traits that make us so unique and strong and beautiful, those traits started morphing into humility to where, I'm okay. No, I'm not
Yeah.
good enough.
Almost not confident.
The confidence
Yeah.
is because it gets misunderstood as arrogance.
Yes.
And
Yes,
so then
yes,
you're
it
so
does.
afraid
Yes.
because you don't want your friends to think, oh,
Showing off over
You know what I mean?
here. Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, like your friends or your close friends or even people in our own community are your harshest critics, and they're going to be the first ones to judge you, knock you on your ass. You know what I mean? And then they come back, and when you're like there, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like you kind of like see who your friends and your family are along your journey. You know what I mean? But like sometimes, like I never choose to say shout them out right in there, but I take note. You know what I mean? But it kind of sounds like you're doing your thing and you have that same mindset.
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Otherwise, what's going to happen is your kids are going to inherit that same mindset.
And your
Yeah.
kids are watching.
That they can't be confident. That they have to
Right.
kind of shy away from being.
And I'm not saying it to the extreme.
No,
Right,
right.
But I'm just basically saying, like, and I have that instilled in me. When someone gives me a compliment,
Right.
it's hard for me to accept it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you
Yes.
downplay it. So, oh my gosh, I love your bottle. It's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's my
need to stop doing that.
That's my Polynesian way
Yes.
of just like
Right.
I don't want to seem like I'm arrogant.
Yeah.
But you have no idea. We've not paid rent for how many years to just
No, and
be
yeah,
able to
that
afford this
deserves
bottle.
to be
You know what I'm
proud
saying?
Of,
Something
without
to be,
feeling like you're boasting.
but what I'm saying is that in business in general,
Yeah.
even if it's not in the wine business, if you're in the kava industry,
Right.
if you're in construction,
Yeah.
you need it's that mindset of being okay to be confident and not worry because it's going to be received as arrogance by people
Period.
anyways.
Period.
Exactly.
But just not let it affect you
Right.
mentally, spiritually, physically.
Because you're your worst critic.
100%.
You know what I mean? The minute you let somebody like come into your mind, I mean, things can just collapse.
You
from that
start
point.
changing things
Yeah.
about
You
your
do.
business.
You start
Right.
to
Because
second
you
guess
second
everything.
guess your own decisions.
Especially when it comes to
Absolutely.
family.
You start saying, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, or
Right.
you know what, let's change that because someone said it looks like this, or let me change the recipe of my banana bread.
Yeah.
So now it's like
Because
maybe
someone-
you should just shut up.
Maybe the
And on
other
that
people
note,
are
I'm gonna
like
have I'm feeling a little status VIP right now, so don't mind me.
this. No, but I am too. Like
No,
but
yeah.
I totally get it, and I think all Polynesians will understand that because we do feel that way. We do feel like you can't be proud of what you're doing. You could be humbly proud and stand back and not say anything about it, but it's like it's hard to be confident in what you do.
Because if you think about,
even if you know it,
100%, if you think about how people compliment other Polynesians, like, I love such and such.
Yeah.
They're so humble.
Yes.
Yep.
They're so nice. They're so humble. That automatically is like, if I miss that check mark of humility, then I won't get the approval of my demographic. Right. But I also feel like it's the same in the Asian culture as well. You know, in Japan, they most humble, very, Asians the same. So it's not just us, but honestly, it does affect why you're able, or our demographic is able to cross that barrier in the business world and thrive. It's because of the self-doubt that we create within ourselves, because
absolutely
the people around us matter so much.
Yes.
And it's kind of like so mind-boggling that we care so much about how our own people think.
Matters
it's a
so
different,
much to us.
I don't care what my Palangi people think about. They
Right.
can kind of second guess me, but if our own people,
Yeah,
so you're
and
kind
I
of
heard a
going
little different.
right. You kind of go in to make decision like, shit, dude. I'm like, our people are gonna think this. I'm gonna get this kind of slack from our own community. But if once you can get past that,
Yes.
you know, we need to start living for ourselves, for
Yeah.
our family, for what we want, what makes us happy, and we need to stop giving that negative and toxicity energy and give it back to them. You can wear it on your shoulders. I'm gonna live my free life, and it sounds like you two, especially as women entrepreneurs and women business owners, how does that play into this, and what struggles did you guys have as a woman, as a person of color coming into this business without the haters wanting just to shut you down?
So for me, because I've been off social media for 10 years before I came on, and I only came on for business.
And now you're like, bam.
Now I'm like in your face all the time. I'm gonna be annoying. Yeah. No, and that's because I did have to get over that exact mindset. I was always constantly worried about what people think. Now I don't care what you think, because if you're watching me, you're watching me either way.
She's staring you in the camera.
But I did have that.
Last call.
No, I think it's true, because I did have that issue, and I do have that feeling like, okay, people are gonna think I'm weird, or I'm doing this, or I'm with plants or whatever. But if you look at what other people are doing with their business, that's what you have to do. You have to be out there. You have to put yourself out there and not care what anybody's thinking. Yeah. And it's not even about caring about what other people's thinking. As I came to the realization that what I think people are thinking is actually me. Those are my own thoughts. Those are not thoughts of other people. I'm not a mind reader. So those thoughts that I create thinking, oh, these people are gonna think that is me creating that thought. So I could just stop creating the thought. And that's what I did. I stopped creating the thought of what other people are thinking of me, because I don't know what you're thinking of me. Maybe you think I'm great. And it's not for me to say, oh, he's thinking this about me. I don't know what you're thinking.
But I think you bring up a great point, because I think a lot of it is that.
Yeah, that's what most of it is. It is that narrative you've allowed people to create in your mind, and then you run it back as if somebody else is thinking about that. But the actual reality is you have created the narrative for what you think other people are thinking, and then that is keeping you back.
Praise be. Okay.
That becomes your reality.
Exactly.
That you've manifested.
Yes.
So how was it for you?
Same exact thing. I echo everything she just said. What happened for me and my husband is we started retraining the way we think about ourselves.
Yes.
And it's taken, I think we started our journey in like 2018. After we launched Status in 2017, we started taking the initiative of really paying attention to how we think about ourselves and how we think about how people think about us. And the struggles, you can say, okay, when you start a business, the struggle is not having enough money, not having enough capital, or not having enough people believe in you. Honestly, it's not having enough faith in you.
I agree.
Absolutely.
It's not having, and
where were you guys when I still had my business?
I know.
I needed these people.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
No,
but you
round
learn.
two. It's never too late.
Okay, open status here, and I'll be your GM. I'll be like, boom, I got you.
Then let's talk. Let's talk after, because we need experience.
No, seriously.
But it's true. So what it is we're manifesting everything that we think about ourselves is the current reality that we currently live.
Yes.
In that moment.
Well, we think that our reality is our reality is what makes us.
Right.
But we don't understand it's the opposite.
Right.
It's what we do inside here and inside our hearts that makes the reality.
Right. So
Yes.
what we're projecting is what we're kind of giving, that is what we're putting out there into the world.
Yes.
100%.
Because I almost feel like now that I'm speaking to you two, it's kind of like we almost do that to kind of like almost try to convince ourselves that we're not good enough to do it. Like
Exactly.
it might
Self-sabotage
feel so
ourselves
self-sabotage.
by thinking negative of ourselves.
But then again, you have to think, how much faith do you really have in our Heavenly Father?
right.
Because if you have so much faith in Him, then you need to have that exact same faith, that level of magnitude in yourself, because He is in you.
Right.
Yes, and
So
it's
it's-
everything.
So it's kind of like have that same energy.
He is in you. Jesus is in me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like He is inside of me every day. So if I don't honor Him as He's separate.
yeah,
Right.
right.
I do.
Yes.
But I also, in order to honor Him, I honor me.
Right.
Yes.
I honor
Because
my
he's
thoughts.
there with you and he's part of who you are.
Yeah,
your
I
daily
honor my
decisions.
thoughts. I honor my work. I honor how I make my decisions, because everything I do, it praises Him.
Exactly.
So when you beat up on yourself, when you lack the faith in you, you're basically lacking the faith in Him.
See, and I think like
Absolutely.
you guys are hitting on like great points, you know what I mean? Especially to our own community and the people who kind of like look at us differently for being entrepreneurs, starting a business like in wine or like in the alcohol industries. Like that you're a great example of like how you can keep your faith, you know what I mean, keep your family together, make these smart business
Yes.
business decisions and move forward and still be able to hold on to your light. You know what I mean? And I think
Absolutely.
that's what we're seeing, what everybody's seeing out there. Tell me if I'm wrong, everybody. But again, we're right. We only have
You're
10
right.
minutes left, but come on, put in some questions that you may have for her. I mean, I think both of you would be a great mentor, especially to the women entrepreneurs that are in our Pacific Islander community that are out there. I mean,
That's
would
so
you guys
sweet of
be
you.
okay if,
Yeah,
you,
that's so
if
sweet.
our community
I don't know
hit
if
them
you-
up, hit them up?
I don't know
ask
if you
them
want to take my
questions.
advice, but oh my gosh, we're always here. I'm always here to help. We're
Yeah.
always here to help.
No, and I'm always here to just share my thoughts, because I feel like as I have gotten older and started changing the way I think about things, then I think about how I used to think about things. And that's where I try to make it known, like my change of thought, I try to tell my sisters, you know,
Yeah.
I try to make them not go through what I had to go through before I came to the realization that everything is in my head.
Right.
And living the whole first 40 years of my life doubting that I'd be good enough to do something, and then just finally getting to the point where like, you should just do it. You should try to actually just think positive that you could do
Right.
something, and then just do it rather than thinking worst case scenario. I feel like
Definitely.
that's
and
the
I think
case.
it's important, again, coming back to why we do this show and trying to bring different types of people that are on here, because we're hearing like
Yeah.
real life stories of our own people in our own community who
Exactly.
struggle.
Right.
When we should be building each other, and there's a lot of people that are out there who are probably feeling the same way.
Well, you really do. A business, let me tell you something. You do have to go in
Oh, yeah.
with a mindset of it's going to be hard.
It is.
So when you go to play football, you know, my nephew, Moana-Si'i, he plays for the Utes now. He's a freshman.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of him. And as a football player, you can't go on the field thinking, I'm not going to get hit.
Right.
You know,
Well, I
I'm
see
not
some
going to make
players that are out there.
You know what I mean? Helmet to helmet contact.
Yeah.
So they go out there ready, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hit. You know,
Yeah.
helmet to helmet.
Because
Like,
they're prepared.
you're
The
prepared.
expectation.
You need to do the same thing. Like, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
No one's gonna follow you. No, it's the critics.
Yeah.
This,
Right.
that, and the
Right,
other.
right.
You gotta be prepared to make helmet to helmet contact that you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
But that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
You know.
I love all your examples.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. And it makes it so relatable for everybody to be able
does.
to think of it in that way.
All your stories that you're like your examples, they are relatable to
All of us.
all of us.
Well, because we're
'Cause
no
you
different
are us.
from one
No.
another.
Yes.
Because I'm one
And
of
that's
you.
what it comes down to.
We're no
Yeah.
different
Exactly.
from one another. We're no different from one another. But like I said, with time, your thinking about things, your perception of things changes.
And it's always perception. Perception is what I always like tell my employees when I had them, or like when I was coaching. You know, like people's perception is important, and that's valid. You know what I mean? You kind of like need to like, you are performing for the world. You know what I mean? So always make sure that you're doing the right thing and like showing compassion and empathy and kind of making the right decision, because your sisters, whether they see you struggling or succeeding and don't see the in between, that's their perception.
Yeah.
But
That
I think
is.
it's strong that we need to like maybe have a panel of entrepreneurial women who come sit down and kind of like let our people know it is a struggle and what it takes to be and to get to where you are.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And so I have a question for the both of you, and we'll start with you. So 2012, when the mind came in, when it came into your mind, hey, I might start this by looking at your bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what would you tell yourself now, your 2012 self?
Oh my goodness. If I could, I'd do anything. I think about that all the time because I think I would have been a lot further ahead in life had I learned the whole mindset thing.
Yes.
Had I learned that sooner, I would have been able, because I would have been able to bypass all of the issues a lot faster because once I'd be able to turn the page, you know,
Right.
I would sit there and marinate on a problem or something someone said to me.
And when
I
we
would
marinate, we marinate.
I would marinate on
Right.
someone offending me, and I would just stay
Yeah.
offended forever. I would marinate on not having enough money to produce product. I would marinate on not having enough money to pay my bills. I would marinate on it so much that that's all I kept manifesting.
Yeah.
That's the reality
Yeah.
I kept recycling. And so had I figured that out, dude, I would have been so much. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
No, but it
I'm not
comes
saying
with
that
the
we're-
territory, right?
I'm not saying that we're, there yet, but
Yeah.
I now, the problems are a lot bigger,
Yes.
but I'm a lot stronger
Yeah.
Right.
now.
You're thinking of them
So you're
differently.
aware.
Next
Yeah.
page.
Exactly.
okay.
You know,
Exactly.
I now deal with problems that would have broken me.
Yeah.
Broken me. I probably would have ran off a bridge somewhere back
Right.
in 2012, but I'm a lot stronger now. But had I figured that out sooner. So that's what I'm trying to teach my kids
Yes.
Yeah.
on how not to marinate
Yes.
on the wrong things.
But
so
do you feel
long.
that you need to obviously go through that struggle to get to where
I
you
had
are?
to,
Yeah.
So now you're
yeah.
like, okay, so now I'm going to take what worked for me out of my
Yeah.
playbook and I'm going to give it to my kid.
100%.
See, but I feel like they see that. But I still feel like our younger kids, to kind of get them through the world now, is we need to kind of like take them through our play-by-play book.
Right.
You know, hey, I'm here because of this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just, does that make sense, or does
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So would you tell your 2012, what would you tell us? Say, hey, you're looking at yourself in the mirror 2012.
It is not that serious.
Period.
Stick and
Yeah,
move.
That's a great one.
It's
Yes,
not that
it is
serious.
not
Stick and
that
move.
serious.
Keep moving. It's
Keep
not
it
that
moving.
serious. It is not
Yes.
that serious.
What about you?
No, I would say think positive. Like, I feel like everything that you do, you could dwell on something bad that happened, or you could think about all the positive things that came of this thing that happened. Like, your perspective of things that happened to you can be positive, even if the experience is not.
So true.
If you take it as, okay, well, what did I learn from this, rather than, oh my gosh, this happened to me and this is crushing me. I feel like we dwell on a moment.
Yes.
And then we live in that moment and we don't realize everything else that worked out for us, even though some minor inconvenience may have happened. The change in mindset, the thought process, or whatever, there's something that would have changed in that moment. And I think appreciating those things rather than thinking of them as a negative failure.
Right.
Like, things are just things to be learned from. And so as an older person now looking back, I would think to not dwell on the negative. Always think of the positive, because if an accident happened, you lost your car, okay? But if an accident happened and you didn't get injured, if an accident happened and none of the people in your car, somebody else's car, there's so many positives that happen even in a negative situation. So my whole thing would be just think positive. Think positive about yourself, about the way you speak to yourself, about the way you speak to people, because that's the energy.
Do you speak
The
to
energy,
yourself?
I do. I speak to myself constantly. I'm like, Crystal, what did you do?
No,
but I'm
I'm the
like,
same
okay,
way.
we're
I'm the
good,
same
we're
way.
good. But I do speak to myself positively, because I think I had such a negative mindset that I wasn't forcing myself to think of the positive in things. And now I do. Now I think of the positive things. It doesn't matter if I did something and nobody bought something, or whatever it is. If I learned something from it, it was still a positive experience that will get me to the next thing. And
Right. I think a lot of this, what we're hearing today, is like, you know what, don't ever give up. You got to
Yes.
keep trying. But I think that we have to go through our own struggle to be able to tell our story.
Yeah.
And then you can pass it along to your kids, so we can kind of like try to break that cycle.
yes.
But I think like we're all strong people. You two are beautiful, strong business women who were doing your thing, and it's your time to shine. You know what I mean? But we couldn't get here without these mistakes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So is there any last words that you would like to share with our viewers, or where they should follow you, or any events that are coming up?
No, you said everything, so I leave it with the
I
words
tend
that
to
you
say everything all the time. I'm like, well, okay, so I have this next to her plan PacifikaChptr interviews are things on April 19th at Kaipo. Don't miss out, okay? And she's gonna be.
What's your status?
What's your status?
Right, I'm VIP
I'm
for
just
sure.
kidding. You need to get a Kona status one. And then just do it just a round bottle, put it in a paper bag, and just. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
No, but it was so amazing to have you on here. We've
It
learned
was.
so
I
much.
was so happy to meet you and also find out all of our connections between our families.
know,
That's such a small world.
I know.
But yeah, no, I just say it like I love seeing Polynesians in unexpected areas doing things that you just don't expect to see, and I love it because I think that just opens a web of thinking for a lot of people. Like they can picture themselves doing that, you know, they can picture themselves doing something else, and so I love it. I'm just so glad to have you.
Likewise, it is such an honor to be here with you both and getting to know you and your team. And I love and adore you. Love and adore you. But yes, and keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys are moving like a movement in our community here. And I've been following you guys from Vegas, and I'll continue to follow and support. So thank you so much for having me on.
Maybe a show with Vegas. Maybe a show from the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The next one, will we reopen?
Okay, when are you going back? I'm just kidding. Go back tomorrow. I'll fly out tomorrow morning.
No, definitely. When we have a reopening, I want you guys there.
Oh,
definitely.
heck yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see us.
But yeah, we're launching in California, Hawaii, Arizona, and Nevada. So those are the places. Utah.
All around.
And we're
If
going
I
to
could-
get you to Utah.
yes, you're
Yep.
gonna come to Utah. We're all manifesting that. It is gonna happen.
All
You're
my
gonna be
connections,
here.
if you're watching, I'll be calling you. Okay.
Expect a call.
No, but we like to thank everybody for watching our everyday
Yes.
people, the Pacifica chapter today with Hola. It's been amazing. You're
been
amazing,
great.
and you're amazing. I learn a lot from you and from you, from our guests, just to kind of understand what the struggles that we go through on a daily basis, and that you're proof that a woman of faith can still own a business
Yes.
that's outside of what our beliefs are. Yeah, but I am a big believer that we need to evolve with the times.
Yes.
And we do things for our family, and as long as you keep your mind straight and you know what you're doing and it's coming from a good place,
Yes.
that you don't need to worry about what other people think.
Exactly.
You know, so you two continue to let your light shine. I love you both, and I learned a lot today. I'm the best co-host ever.
She is.
But
Thank you.
again, everybody, make sure that you're following us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, especially to watch all present and past videos. Follow the planter. I'll see you guys at Manny's this weekend, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. See you guys at the Medical Mary.
And the Gava Fest tonight, 6 p.m. at One Love Gava.
Do we have enough vendors for that, or can people still sign up for that, Leroy? Hey, show up. Vendor your staff.
Yes.
All right, guys, we love you, and we are gonna finish off
Yeah,
this bottle.
have a
We're
great
feeling
weekend.
a little status VIP here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, see you guys.
Have a great weekend.
So we can try it one more time. Days and nights you're on my mind. Years of memories make me cry. I need you here by my side, so I can make it through the night. Don't say goodbye. Don't say goodbye. I'll turn the world back in time, so we can try it one more time. Boy, you say to me goodbye, saying I love you won't change your mind. So please don't make me cry, 'cause I love you so deeply inside.